I've spent years cooking from scratch, which included baking from time to time. I'm not the biggest baker, but recently I've gotten more into it, and I realized that to have the best ingredients to make my breads, I need to be grinding my own flour. So I bought a MockMill 100, and today I thought I'd unbox it with you. So I chose the MockMill 100 because I wanted to go with the cheaper models just because I wasn't sure how into grinding I was going to be. So there's the MockMill 100 and there's the MockMill 200, and then there's also the ones that have like the bamboo looking outside, which is really pretty, but it's like $600. I figured I'd dip my toes into grinding my wheat at home with the 100 because the difference between the 100 and the 200 is pretty much just the speed at which the flour is milled. And since I'm a home baker, it's okay to me if it takes a little bit longer to grind. It's still pretty fast apparently, but I'm okay if it takes a little more time. I'm not in a rush to have it be ground more. The 200 is about $80 more expensive. So this one was $380 and it was on back order. So I ordered it in May and I received it the beginning of July. So I'm hoping that I can really up my from scratch cooking by grinding my own wheat. The reason I want to grind my own wheat is because I want fresh products when I'm cooking. And fresh ground wheat has the wheat, the germ, and the endosperm, which makes it nutritious for you. So a wheat seed is made up of the bran, germ, and endosperm. Commercial white flour removes the bran and the endosperm, so all you end up with is the germ. And it's mostly starch. So I'm hoping to accomplish delicious breads, cakes, all kind of things like that, and make it a little more healthy for us. I'm going to be trying the recipe today for a whole grain sandwich loaf. All right, so first things first, we need to remove it from the box. So I'm going to open it. Ow. When I initially took the grain mill out of the box, it had these little quick start guides on the outside. So it's telling you how to get started, not to use the handle as a way to hold it, and then grains you can buy from MockMill. On the inside, it looks like there is a little guide to how to get it out of the box. So, oh, I think it's telling me to rip the whole box off. It's nice and heavy. That makes me think it's quality. So remove all these particles. All right, we have her out of the box. So it's about 15 inches high, 7 across. Here's my KitchenAid stand mixer for comparison size. So they're roughly, it's a little bit taller, but they're roughly the same size. So they'll take up about the same counter space. So I will say it was definitely packaged well. It was completely like tightly packaged, and it feels heavy. It feels nice. It makes me feel like this is a quality product instead of something cheaply made. I've got the cord. It's pretty good length. It'll reach either one of my outlets. Here's the hopper. It's got our like big instruction guide in here. You can see. All right, so here's the inside, the hopper. Here is where you control the grind length. So I've got 1 to 10. And here is where the flour comes out. And right there is the power button. So that was pretty easy to get out of the box. I'm just gonna wipe it down with a damp cloth right now just to make sure it's, any of the dust is off of it. And then we're going to do our first round of running some rice through it to clean it. All right, the instructions say before the first use, we need to mill either 1/3 cup or 1/2 cup of uncooked rice on the coarsest setting, so number 10, and then regrind the same flour on the finest setting because this is going to remove any mineral debris from the manufacturing process on the stones. So one very important thing to note is you always have to have your machine running before you add whatever you're grinding, or else it will get stuck in the grinding plates and you'll have to take the whole thing apart. So I'm going to turn it on. I've got my 1/2 cup of rice and we're going to let it go. Okay, so that was the coarsest setting, and it says to leave the machine on and to run it on the finest setting, which is number 1. And I will say, it's not as loud as I thought it was going to be. It's actually okay for me. Okay, and then we have the finest ground. Oh, it's nice and warm. And it's pretty finely ground. This is kind of amazing. It feels really nice. But as you can see, I should have had a second bowl under there because it came out really fast. So don't do what I did and get a second bowl. I'm going to dump this in the trash. It says to discard it. All right, I bought off Amazon the Palouse brand of hard white wheat berries. I bought hard white wheat because that's typically what you use to make breads, and that's what I plan to use this for the most. So I bought this to see how these turn out, and if I like them, I will get a bigger bag. This is I believe it's a 5-pound bag. Yes, this is a 5-pound bag, and I'll show you what the wheat berries look like. So these are wheat berries, like little seeds. And it's got the germ, exoskeleton, and bran. The bran is the outer protective layer. It's got fiber, B vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. The germ is the embryo of the seed, the part that would sprout a new wheat plant. It's got healthy fats, vitamin E, B vitamins, minerals, and enzymes. And then the endosperm is the largest part of the kernel, and it makes up about 80 to 85% of the wheat berry. And this mostly contains starch, protein, and a small amount of vitamins and minerals. So what we get in commercial white flour is the endosperm. So in commercial flour, they're leaving out the bran and the germ, which are the most nutritious parts of the wheat berry. And even, I did a little research on whole wheat flour, and honestly, that isn't much better either. It's kind of up to the manufacturer how much wheat they want to put into it, and it's not like they mill it like this. They mill it like white flour and then mix back the bran and the germ. So even if you're buying whole wheat flour, you're not getting whole wheat like you would if you ground your own flour. The I have, it needs 3 cups of flour. So I'm not sure how much that's going to be in wheat berries. So I'm going to mill this first, and then I'm going to weigh it. First step, I want it on 1. I want the finest setting. I'm going to turn the machine on. And there we have our fresh ground flour. I really like how sturdy it is. It doesn't seem to slide around. It's pretty heavy. It doesn't seem to slide around, so I don't feel like it'll get knocked over or anything. The hopper is definitely large enough. It is pretty big. Let me measure it. Hopper is 7.5 inches wide. So that's like a small dinner plate. So that is plenty big. It was super easy to use. I thought it was going to be like a little more, like I need to know more to do it, but it was super easy. Turn it on, make sure it's on, run your stuff through, and it's good to go. Here is what the flour looks like on the finest setting. It is very fine. It feels really nice. It's got a slight tan color to it because it's got the bran in it. It just smells like flour to me. Here is store-bought white flour. It's very powdery white. I buy unbleached flour, but it's still pretty white. And I can't smell anything at all when I smell it. And then the fresh ground has some color to it. It's not like powdery fine. It's like sandy, but not as coarse as sand. But it does have more texture to it. The MockMill isn't really about grinding grain. It's about taking one more step toward understanding your ingredients. The closer you get to the beginning of the process, the more control you have over the final meal. A wheat berry is nature's perfect little storage container. As long as it's whole, the bran protects it and the germ stays sealed inside. But once you grind it, everything is exposed. The oils in the germ begin reacting with the air, and over time, the flour gradually loses some of its freshness, aroma, and flavor. That's one of the reasons white flour became so common. By removing the bran and germ, millers created a flour that could sit on the shelf for months without going rancid. It was practical, but it also meant leaving behind some of the grain's flavor and nutrition. So when you're milling at home, only grind what you need for the next few days, or a little extra if you know you'll use it soon. Fresh milled flour is at its best when it's fresh. Ever since we were kids, my mom always bought whole wheat bread, so I grew up loving that nutty, warm taste. I never liked white bread. My grandma would buy white bread, and I remember going over and having sandwiches and just thinking it was awful. It was like cotton candy. You put it in your mouth and it just dissolves. And I get that that's an appeal for some people, but being used to a denser, heartier bread, I did not like it. So I feel like I'm a good candidate for someone who will love actual whole wheat bread. So far, I'm really impressed with the grain mill. I just love it. I just love how quickly it goes through, and it's super simple. Not that I thought it was going to be difficult, but I thought there were going to be more steps than that, and it's literally just turn it on, run it through, and get to baking. I also love that there's no assembly required. It comes completely intact in the box, how it's supposed to be. You just have to kind of pry off all of that cardboard, which is nice to know how secure it's wrapped. It's made in Germany, that's why it was back ordered. It's a nice solid piece of machinery. Okay, so I have got our instruction booklet. The warranty says that it is guaranteed for home use against material and manufacturing defects for a period of 6 years from the date of purchase. Please register your device online. So 6 years is a pretty good warranty. So I'm really excited about that. And it does not cover fragile parts such as the hopper or the chute when you use it improperly. You need to make sure you're using it correctly to not void the warranty. I do like the bamboo looking ones, but I also don't think it's worth getting it for like a couple $100s more. So I figured for the time being, I would get the 100 if I really get into bread baking, or I really want the aesthetic of the wood outside casing, then I would get that later and then pass this on to someone else who wants to mill their own grains at home. You can regrind what you've already ground if it's not as fine as you want it to be. A couple of the other brands, you could only put your flour through once, and if it wasn't a texture you like, it just is what it is. But with this, you can run it through again. Not that I think that's gonna be something I'm going to have to do, but it's nice to have that option because it can also do corn, seeds, other whole grains. So when I'm learning to use this machine, I'd rather have the ability to redo something if I don't do it correctly, or if I decide I want it finer. I really like having the option of running it through again. Okay, it's been an hour. I'm just gonna knock the air out and form it into a ball. Okay. All right, and there's our fresh baked loaf of freshly milled bread. Another reason I wanted to grind my own wheat is because when you keep wheat in the wheat berry form, it can store for much, much longer. We want to keep the nutrients intact, so only grind what you're going to use within that day or maybe the next couple of days, because it doesn't last like flour that you buy from the store, because white flour has had the bran and the germ removed, and so those oils are gone, and that's what keeps it from going rancid. But we want those oils, we want all that. We just need to make sure we grind right before we're going to do this, instead of grinding a whole bunch and storing it like you would flour from the store. All right, my bread has had time to cool. Here is what the end slice looks like, and here's what the loaf looks like. I cut it a little cattywampus, but it feels soft. It smells really like nutty. So now it's time to take a bite. This recipe is really good. It's obviously denser than white bread, but it's still very light and fluffy. It has that nice nutty, weedy taste, but it doesn't feel too dense or, I don't know. I think I was expecting more density, but this is nice. I am very impressed with both the grain mill and the bread that comes from milling your own grains. It's really good. And I know that it's got the fiber, the nutrients, and the vitamins in it. It makes eating bread seem like less of a guilty pleasure. If you want this recipe, I will link it below. This recipe is from one of my blogging friends. Her name is Vicky Hadley. She has a website, The Little Chef Within. I will link it below if you want to try this recipe. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions about the grain mill or the process of baking this bread, go ahead and leave a comment and I'd be happy to answer it for you. Because it's nutritionally better for you, and apparently, I'm just not gonna keep saying apparently. White flour from the store is stripped of its endosperm and its bran. No, it's bran and the, God, why can't I remember this? Bran and germ. For the recipe I have, it needs, why do I feel like I can't see this? It's a nice solid piece. And now comparatively, I can't smell anything with the regular, dude, it's a nice solid piece of machinery. Part of the reason that the bran and germ were taken out of pre-ground, oh my God, think of what you want to say. Whoa, no. It's from, this recipe is from,